Making up about 3 to 5% of the entire population, the INTP personality type is one of the rarest Myers Briggs personality types out there. This personality type is known to be a little harsh, rebellious, and independent. These free thinkers have a talent for breaking through denial and coming up with creative solutions to issues. Analytical, inquisitive, and inventive, they contribute to making the world a better and more advanced place by simply being alive. But how would you know if you're an INTP personality type or simply something else? Today I'm going to talk about the 9 obvious signs that you are an INTP and the characteristics that might help you determine if you're an INTP or not. It can be confusing trying to figure out what personality type you are, so make sure to watch till the end of today's video because I'm sure there are things you haven't thought of before. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Hit that subscribe button to get the latest videos created to give you the tools to level up your life. Starting things off for me today is that INTPs hate crowds. It goes without saying that if you're an INTP, you don't want to be the focus of attention. Interacting with others, speaking in front of an audience, and working in a group are all tough for introverts. INTPs like to keep their thoughts to themselves due to their quiet temperament, which may be a good thing, but it can be problematic. If you have an issue with someone and want them to quit bothering you, how will they do so if you don't tell them that their behavior is bothering you? Sometimes, to solve a problem, communication is the best way. But since an INTP's dominant cognitive function is introverted thinking, they stay more in their heads than anything else. Introverts, like INTPs, also have a really hard time conveying their thoughts and adjusting to new surroundings. This is why you will usually find an INTP silently cleaning up or reading something or being lost in creativity. In fact, for introverts, portraying their thoughts, opinions, and beliefs using art as a tool is very common and quite effective for them. Next up, and number 8 today, is an INTP's eyes are in constant search for precision. The INTP personality type is well known for its perfectionism. They want things done in a specific way. If you touch their things, then they will know that someone has touched their things. The cognitive function of introverted sensing comes into play here. INTPs know who they have to choose or what they have to do for every specific task. Due to their introverted nature and their cognitive function of introverted sensing, they silently observe every single detail of their surroundings, and they continuously take mental notes that end up being extremely helpful for them in the future. If you want your work done in a specific way that's close to perfection as possible, happen to have strong opinions towards everything, and rarely compromise on morals, then this is one of the many signs that you are an INTP personality type. Number 7 on my list today is INTPs live and thrive on logic. There are a lot of whats and whys in the life of an INTP. Instead of blindly following their emotions, the INTP personality type is known for analyzing the situation thoroughly and patiently, reviewing the logic before making a decision. This is another reason why it's a little hard to understand them and their point of view. Unlike emotional decision makers who limit themselves, INTPs look at things from different points of view, essentially always playing the devil's advocate. Instead of caring about how their decision is going to hurt other people or how someone else is going to benefit from their decision, INTPs think about whether their decision is based on logic or not. For example, whenever an INTP personality type is left in charge of choosing people for a group project, instead of choosing their friends, they will look for people who are more skilled and dedicated to the task. INTPs carefully analyze their possibilities and then make a decision, showing their cognitive function of extroverted intuition. If you're someone who values reasoning above emotional advantage and prefer to put your feelings aside when making a decision, this is another clue that you may be an INTP personality type. The number 6 obvious sign that you are an INTP is you hate repetition. INTPs find repetition mind-numbingly tedious and unpleasant. They undoubtedly despise repeating their times tables or going over the same things time and again in school. When they know something, they want to move on to something else as soon as possible. INTPs have a steep learning curve that few individuals can actually keep up with. The lack of variety and innovation irritates an INTP personality type. Change is one of the most important things that keeps an INTP on their toes due to their instinctive habit of always wanting a change, and because following the same routine over and over may be the reason behind limiting their thought process to certain barriers and not giving them room for creativity. If you grow irritable after a while of doing the same thing, and you don't have enough room and independence to express your originality and innovation, you are most likely an INTP. Number 5, INTPs are doubtful about everything at first. Being cautious when you're stepping into a new territory and are in an unfamiliar field is okay, but for an INTP personality, it's a little different. INTPs are strict with themselves to ensure that their thoughts and beliefs have logical weight. They apply the same level of scrutiny to the outer world as well. Before they sign up for anything, they make sure they're not being swayed by their emotions or popular opinion. They must dissect concepts or rules and examine all of their components to determine whether they can survive scrutiny. Yes, they hate being limited. It is true that they love change and like to put themselves in situations that require them to be outside of their comfort zone, but that doesn't mean they mindlessly jump into something without thinking. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation and hit that like button. That signals YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. Next up, and number 4 on my list, is INTPs are hostile to authority and hierarchical structures. INTPs are not as easily impressed as other types by titles, positions, or medals. External sources of validation are meaningless to them if the person holding it is not pulling their weight. An INTP analyzes each individual based on their unique contribution and insights rather than their merit. If an INTP was forced to follow an incompetent or uncreative boss, they would quickly become burned out, causing them to figure a way out of that organization and apply their skills elsewhere. People that pull rank or expect a lot of respect just because of their position irritate INTPs. Popularity, office, or positional authority matter very little to them. They take a close look at each individual. What inventive ideas do they offer? How persuasive are their arguments? INTPs can be as impressed by a fast food employee or a college professor if they have anything worthwhile to say, but they have no desire to suck up to those in authority simply because of their title. Starting my top 3 signs you are an INTP is INTPs are open-minded and love to think outside the box. When a situation gives you the A and B options, do you ever sit back and wonder about the C option? Do you have a habit of putting the limits and barriers aside to think about the given situation from every possible aspect? Here, the cognitive function of extroverted intuition shines through. Whether it's visuals, imagination, or taking the past, present, and future into consideration, the INTP mind does not rest until its hunger for creativity and innovation is satisfied. The INTP mind is always in search of a pattern that explains everything and wants to find that pattern. If you tend to think about the same thing again and again and examine every aspect of any situation or problem, then this might be another sign that you belong to the INTP personality type. In the runner-up spot, INTPs don't open up that easily. Opening up to others might be a little hard for the INTP personality type, as they are already considered a little insensitive by the other personality types. Due to their extremely noticeable preference for logic instead of emotions, they rarely pay attention to their own emotional side. When you rarely acknowledge the emotions of other people, acknowledging your own emotions can be quite challenging. And if you don't acknowledge your emotions, then it is really hard to talk about them. When an INTP is asked to delve into their emotional world and describe it, they may experience stage fright and insecurity. INTPs find it easier to debate theories, concepts, and facts than it does to make sense of their soul's inner feelings. However, an INTP values those who make room for them and provide a safe, judgment-free space for them to express themselves. Topping my list today, and the number one sign you are an INTP, is INTPs are the friend who gives logical advice, not the emotional one. If you're going through a breakup and have an INTP friend, don't go to them for advice. But if you are having a career crisis or some problem in your job, then your INTP friend is the best person that you can go to. As I've already shown, the emotional talents of an INTP personality type are limited, so going to them for emotional advice and expecting them to understand is a little messy. Breaking things down, looking for logic in every situation doesn't typically help your friends feel any better about their problems, especially if they are emotional people. They want support, not answers, and it's quite challenging for an INTP to not have any logical answers. It's hardwired in them and simply how the INTP mind operates. Do you think you are an INTP? What are your thoughts on these obvious signs that you are an INTP? Tell me your stories in the comments below. You've got this, now go get it done. Grab yourself some more INTP brain food and watch one of the videos on your screen right now.